Hi everyone, and welcome to episode number 127 of the Karen Knits podcast. My name is Karen, and I'm coming to you from South Central Pennsylvania, where I live, where I work, where I knit, and where I get into all kinds of other shenanigans. I'm so happy to have you here with me today. It is Saturday, September 17th, 2022, and it's a gorgeous day out today. Some clouds coming in now. It's later in the afternoon. It's mid-70s. It's a gorgeous day out today. So, it's done. My Empress top is finished, and I am happy with it. The Empress top is a pattern by Sarah Nordlund, and I finished it. Finished the knitting, tucking in all the tails, all of that I finished last night, and I got it blocked this morning. And I have a hair on my face. Oh well. I'm happy with it. So, this is the yarn I used for it. Loops and Threads Woolies. It is a nylon acrylic blend. So I had to, when I was blocking this, I had to steam it. And I think it blocked out okay. I might give it another go round, but I'm not sure if... Here's how the bottom turned out. You can see my tummy through there. I might have to wear a camisole or something underneath it because the lace, you can see through the lace and see my skin. But I'm happy with it. So I had a couple modifications. You can see, I think on here, and I talked about it quite a bit when I was making this. Instead of doing the baubles as the pattern called for, I opted for using beads. And once it's blocked, the beads pop out a lot better than on the unblocked fabric. So that was one of the modifications. I also made the body longer than the pattern called for. And in hindsight, I probably would have liked it another, probably 3 or 4 inches longer to bring it a little longer down to the hip. It's a little bit shorter than I probably would have been happier with, but this will do. The other modification I made was on the sleeve. The pattern called for either no sleeve, short sleeve, or long sleeve. So I did a half, I guess you call it a half sleeve. So the sleeve goes up to my elbow. And I did 0 increases. The pattern calls for decreasing stitches every so many stitches along the way. I wanted it to stay a wider sleeve to fit my arm more comfortably. And I like it. I'm very happy with this. The neckline is maybe a little bit, rides a little higher and a little bit tighter than I anticipated, but I like it. I like the fit of it. It's not too snug. It doesn't gape. It doesn't hang down on my shoulders. I like it. The back rises up nicely with the short rows. It sits nicely, or the way it was, the way the pieces were put together, it fits nicely. I really like the way it fits. So, finished object. Long time in the making. I think I cast this on back, I think April 10th. And granted, there was quite a bit of time where I didn't do any work on it. It sat there. It was tucked away in the bag. It didn't see any love. So, as I said, I used the Loops and Thread Wool-like. I used 2 full skeins plus about almost 20 grams of the third 100 gram skein. So it clocked in at about, for my size, almost 1,500 yards. So, and it is one of the larger sizes because I'm dainty like that. So it is a larger size. And like I say, it used 2 full skeins plus 20 grams. So 220 grams total, just shy of 1,500 yards total used. I think it was like 1,491 or 93 yards in total used, and I love it. I will have a better opinion on it. I haven't worn it for any length of time yet, so I'm planning on wearing it to work on, maybe either to church tomorrow or to work on Monday. And I'm thinking I'll probably wear it to work on Monday, and then I will get a better idea for how it feels to wear, how it is temperature wise, because it is a nylon, like a polyester nylon acrylic blend. So I'm not sure if I'll overheat in it, but where it's shorter sleeves, that should be fine. So I'm thinking I will wear it on Monday. It's funny, when you first put it on, the beads are cold against your skin. I didn't expect that. I'm like, oh, that's cold. Didn't expect that. But I'm very happy with it. And I'm itching to cast on another sweater. I just barely got this one off the needles, and I'm ready for another one. So I do have a new cast on. I did cast this on, I think on Sunday, because I needed something mindless for doing a bit of knitting during church. My husband's the pastor. He's okay with me knitting while he's doing the sermon. I can pay attention. I can completely pay attention and follow whatever it is he's talking about while I'm knitting. It occupies my hands. It keeps me from fidgeting. So I wanted something mindless to work on while in church, and I worked on it on Sunday. The part of my sweater, I was almost at the point where one sleeve was I at the point where, I think I was at the point where I was getting close to picking up the stitches for one or the other of the sleeves, and I didn't want to have to try to do that. That required concentration counting. That I won't be able to do that during church. So I started something mindless. Any guess what it is? If you guess sort of shirty vanilla socks, ding ding ding, you're right. So I cast on a pair of sort of shorty vanilla socks. Now, there's a story with these. This comes from the same skein of yarn. I know, right? This is from one skein of yarn. This is a skein of yarn I dyed myself. So it was one of the skeins from the fingering weight collection behind me here of my own hand-dyed yarn. And I thought it'd be nice, they would be my autumn or autumnal socks. Granted, this sock looks far more autumnal than this one does, or we're a different part in geography. This is maybe where you have more yellow leaves, and this you have more of the red and orange leaves. I don't know. But this is a yarn I dyed in a similar fashion, which I don't remember how I did it, as the beanie that I knit a couple weeks back on the sport weight yarn from one of those. That one also had blues and greens in it. This one just has the browns, reds, yellows, orangey. It has a lot of the really autumny colors. And when I was dyeing it, apparently one half of the skein, or the hank when it was being dyed, one half absorbed a lot more of the color than the other half did. And it's just the way the yarn was. I think I did these done up in a hank, and then I just dunked it in one of the colors, and then I think I opened it up, rearranged, caked it up again, or not caked it up, did it up in a hank again, like the little skein, and put it back in another color, and kept doing that, moving it around and getting the different colors on. I think that's how I did it, to some extent that way. And apparently the yarn towards the outside of the hank, or one half of the hank, picked up a lot more color than the other half. So when I'm doing this kind of dyeing in the future, I'm going to have to remember to maybe rotate the hank so that some of the inner yarns are more exposed to the color. Either way, it's going to make a very unique pair of socks with one sock an awful lot lighter than the second sock is. So again, you can see how very different they are. You know that they're sort of fraternal twins, very fraternal, but it is what it is. I'm curious maybe if I try to do another pair of shorties with this, maybe with contrasting at least heels and toes, maybe cuffs as well. I'll see if I get something that's in between these two colors. Either way, I am not at all fussed about how carefully matching my socks are. I honestly don't give two hoots whether my socks match perfectly. I don't care. It does not bother me. So I'm probably going to go probably another couple inches, another inch or two on the leg, and then I'll start the heel flap. I'm planning on doing, so this is cast on 64 stitches, a 1x1 rib into stockingette for I don't know how many rounds. I did 15 rounds on the cuff. I'll probably do between 15 and 30 rounds on the leg in stockingette. Then I'm just going to do a regular slip stitch heel flap with just the heel turn and just the regular gusset. Continue doing the stockingette all the way down the foot, and then just do a basic toe. Nothing extravagant, nothing overly fancy. So again, that's on my own hand-dyed yarn, which is wonky, as you can see, and it is in my Fringe Supply field bag. So that's my new cast on this week. And I also have 3 projects that I would really like to cast on. Well, 2 I want to cast on soon, and the 3rd one I will cast on in the beginning of October. So you probably know which one the beginning of October is. That is the Twist and Turns Westknits Mystery Knit Along for 2022. So that pattern, I believe the first clue comes out, I think it's October 6th. I think that's the date. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure that is. So that's a Mystery Knit Along. It's one of the shawl patterns that Stephen West does each autumn, beginning in October, and runs for, I believe, the clues come out over 4, maybe 5 weeks. I think 4 weeks. So I have my yarn ordered from Holst in Denmark. It's, according to the tracking number, it's arrived in the destination country, and as soon as it gets here, I'm going to film a little unboxing and I'll post that on my channel. The yarn arrived in the US on the 10th, so last Saturday. So hopefully it will be here anytime now. So as soon as it gets here, I will do a video of that and get that posted up for you. Hoping I can get that up by hopefully it'll be here and I can get that video done by Wednesday. We shall see. So that'll show you the colors that I am currently planning on using for my Twist and Turns shawl. So that's one of my works in mind. So that won't be cast on until the 6th of October. Two other projects I want to cast on. As I was mentioning, since I finished this sweater, and I enjoyed working with this yarn, and I have a bunch of it. When it went on sale, and I think it was Michael's, you had to buy in lots of 3 of each color. So I have probably 6, I think I bought 7 different colors. So the purple, 2 kinds of blue, I think there was a light pinkish color, 1 packet of white, 1 of black. I'm not sure how I'm going to manage to use those. I might look into see if I can find some kind of stripy pattern for cardigan maybe that's in the white and black. And the last one is kind of a mustardy color. I think that's those 7. So I've used up the purple, although I still have one partial skein, 80 grams left, which is still a lot of yardage. It's like 678 yards in a skein. So I want to do another sweater now. And I love the summery sweaters, the short sleeve sweaters, because I run warm. I like wearing short sleeve sweaters. I also like that if I'm cold, I can add another layer, but I'm typically warm, especially if I'm moving around and doing things, like if I'm at work and I'm in the classroom teaching, I'm moving around a lot. I'm happy with the shorter sleeve shirts so that I'm not boiling to death and sweating buckets. So there's that. So I've been looking through my Ravelry favorites, just looking at all the sweaters I've favorited, all the t-shirts and like the tees and short sleeve shirts. And the pattern I bought the pattern already, so I have a sneaking suspicion I'll be casting it on very soon, like in the next couple days. I am almost 100% sure that when I see you next week, I will have cast on this next sweater. And the one I'm looking at is the pattern, it's called Rachel, and it's by Veronica Jobe or Jobe, Jobe. I'll put that down below and link it. And I'll post a picture of what the sweater will look like. It's an overall lace type pattern. It's an A-line sweater, so it kind of flares out at the bottom, which is good because it goes around my belly better. And it has a short sleeve, so all over it's bottom up. It has, I think, a broken rib design along the sides that angles in that way. It's an inverted triangle, that's what that is. And then the front has like an old shale type. It's kind of got a lace ripple kind of pattern. And I love it. It has a similar neckline as this, a little bit wider. It has like the kind of the stockinette rolled neckline. It has, I think it's just a few rows of purl stitches, or it looks like purl stitches. Might be a small bit of ribbing around the bottom of the sleeve. So it's, again, it's a half sleeve, and it's a longer-ish type of sweater. So it's called Rachel, and I love the look of the sweater, and I'm itching to cast it on. It uses the same size needles that this sweater did, so 3.5 millimeter or US 4, and I love the gauge. I love the drape and the look and feel of the stockinette portion and just this sweater. So I'm thinking it'll look really good. This new sweater will look really good with that. So I bought the pattern this morning or earlier today. I think I did it on a break when I was waiting for the steam blocking on this sweater to finish to dry so I could continue and work on the other side or block the back of it. But I haven't decided which yarn I'm going to use. So I have two of the wool-like. They look very similar in the bag. And I don't really want to, oh, this one actually I've opened this up and this one's taped, I think. No, it's not coming apart. It's not opening up easily. So this is a very light, light blue. And this is a little bit more of a tealy turquoisey. It's not really showing up that well on camera. It's a lot more tealy turquoisey blue. But I don't know which one I want to use. I love the look of both the colors. I might have to flip a coin to see which one I use. I'm kind of leaning towards this one, but I also absolutely love the pastel blue. So I don't know, I will use one or the other of those. Now my only bit of a possible concern with that is that the pattern for the size I want calls for, I can't remember the yardage. But when I calculate how much yardage I have on the total of the 3 skeins, it's about 100 yards less than what the pattern recommends for the size I want. So I might be playing yarn chicken, but what I'll do, I'm going to take the chance, and what I'm going to do, since it's bottom up, so I will knit the body. So you knit the pattern till you separate, it's around and around until you get to where you separate the front and back at the armholes. Then you do the front and then the back pieces. I don't remember how you seam the shoulders. It might be Kitchener, it might be 3-neat. I don't remember. I don't think I even read what that detail was. And then I'll see how much yarn I have left at that point. Then I will do the neckband, which I think is a similar neckband to this one. So I will do the neckband, and then I'll see how much yarn I have left for the 2 sleeves. And if it looks like it's going to be cutting it close, what I will do is I will divide what yarn I have left into 2 equal balls, and I will knit the sleeves as long as I can until I'm almost out of yarn. So I'm hoping that I'll have enough yarn to do the sleeves to this length again, because I do like this length. It covers up some of my fat arms, and I like that length. So if I'm starting to play yarn chicken, that's my plan. I'll see where I get to by the time I'm ready to do the neckband, see how much yarn I have left, and where I think I'm going to be in terms of maybe running out of yarn on the sleeves. It might not even be an issue. I might end up with a bunch of yarn left over. Or probably won't be a bunch, but I should have enough yarn to go through it. So that's the plan. I kind of have a hunch I will be casting that on in the next couple days. I shouldn't, but I probably will. So I will have, again, on my needles, I'll have a pair of vanilla socks, my sort of shorties over here in that bag, and the Rachel sweater. And then once October rolls around, I will have my twists and turns shawl to cast on. Once the vanilla socks are done, I have another pair of socks I want to cast on. You're probably used to me talking a lot about Sock Madness. It's one of my favorite times of the year. Well, this year they sent out a surprise pattern and I love it. It is a combination of color work and cables. And I really like the look of these socks. It is called Woven Cables and it's a pattern by Amawali. I never know how to pronounce her name. I'll have it down below. I'm probably butchering it. I probably learned how to say it during Sock Madness this spring and I've forgotten. If that's the case, I'm sorry. I'm bad with names. But it's a really, and I'll post a picture of what the pattern looks like here. They're really cute socks. So since they won't be competition socks, I'll be able to do the leg, they're top down, so I'll be able to do the leg a little bit shorter because fat calves. I prefer my socks to be a little bit on the shorter side. So I'm going to have to think about what yarn I want to use. Probably none of my hand-dyed yarns are going to really work because they're all like the variegated type that my autumn sort of shorties are. So I might check and see if I have much yarn available to maybe dye a skein of yarn, or look through my stash and use up something I already have and see what I have for scrap yarn to do the woven part of the woven cables. Stay tuned. I probably won't get those cast on for another week because I do want to get my vanilla socks done first. Those ones will probably be my travel, the vanilla socks will be my travel socks for the time being, because I suspect that the Rachel top is where it's a lace pattern. I probably will get that pattern memorized pretty quickly. It does, the lace part doesn't look too complicated, but it'll require counting and paying attention, and that's not as good for travel knitting. So we shall see. So that's about it for my knitting. I have one finished object, a new cast on with my vanilla socks, and I've got 3 projects I want to start. One won't be till October. The other one will be very soon. Possibly tonight? I don't know. Maybe not till tomorrow afternoon. I'm a bit on the tired side today, so I don't think I want to be counting a gigantic number of stitches. It's the number of stitches to start with, like an A-line kind of flared sweater at the bottom. It's a bunch of stitches. So I'm not 100% sure I want to tackle that when I'm tired. I don't need to try counting to, I can't remember, it's over 300 stitches. It's a lot of stitches. But I want to start it on. I enjoyed working on this so much, and I'm really enjoying making short sleeve sweaters for myself. So I'm very eager. Since Empress is done, I'm ready to start another one. And again, since I really enjoyed working with this yarn, I'm not sure how long lasting it's going to be, but I have a bunch of it, so I want to use it. I just don't know which of the colors I'll use. Which one do you think I should use? The baby blue or the tealy blue? Let me know down below. So that's my progress. I've nattered long enough. My husband was saying, oh, you don't have much to talk about. It'll probably be a short episode. Oh, who is he kidding? I told him, I said I got a finished thing to talk about, a new cast on, and 3 things I want to cast on. I said, I'll be yakking for about half an hour. So, life stuff, not much new or exciting. We still don't have our fridge fixed. And I have to start sending out weekly texts to my landlord and start nagging him about that. Because I'm tired of drinking warm water. Well, not warm, but lukewarm water. I like my cold water coming out of the fridge. Work is going well. My kids are writing a test on Monday, so I'll have grading to do on that once they're done. Tomorrow afternoon I have to double check the test. It's almost ready, but I need to double check it, make sure everything's good to go. Send out a reminder email to the class so that nobody misses it. And otherwise, I think that's about it. Yeah. So come back next week, see what kind of progress I've made on my sorta shorty socks. See if I'm almost finished with them or not. And see how much progress I've made on Rachel and how far I've got along with that sweater. My guess is I'll probably just have a little bit around the bottom. I don't think I'll have well, hard to tell. I probably won't have a whole bunch, but come back in a week and see. Alrighty, I'll quit yakking. I'll go get the editing done and then go and see what's going on for supper tonight. Alrighty, take care everyone, and I will see you guys again in a week. Bye!